Can Christians have demons? AKA be demonized. So, I've been watching videos of people who believe that they can, that Christians can be demonized. Because apparently they don't like the word possession, and they don't like the word oppression either. And it is very concerning that people in deliverance ministry don't know the difference between demonic possession and demonic oppression. And they don't know the difference between a demonic attack and demonization. It is very concerning. So, what I am noticing lately is patterns, like many people who are in deliverance ministries who believe that Christians can be demonized or demon possessed. The way that they describe demonization does not match what the Bible describes as demonization in the story of the demoniac who was demonized with the legion. Okay, you have to use that about the demoniac with the legion. He was possessed with the legion in Matthew 17. You have to use that for the guideline of what demonization looks like. Okay? Okay, so because that's what the word, because that word is used to describe that, and that's not the only places. But those scriptures right there gives best descriptions of demonization. And by the way, I do not believe that legion was the proper name of the demon that answered to Jesus. What would that be, like the head demon or whatever you want to call it? Because I am legion, for we are many. So what that tells me is that legion is the name of that collective group, not the proper name of that demon. Okay, because a few verses later, when it describes the man who has the legion, the word legion is not capitalized. Whereas prior to that, when the demon says, "My name is Legion, for we are many," the word legion is capitalized. So that right there was very interesting to point out. And it was also an astonishment that the demoniac was set for, he was closed in his right mind. Because everybody in that community knew that this guy was demonized. Okay, they knew about him. Okay? So that's what demonization looks like. And what is interesting is that what a lot of deliverance ministers are, even people with years of experience, and it's very concerning. Even deliverance ministers with years of experience are describing, what they are describing as demonization is actually demonic influence or demonic attack. Especially a lot of the at least some of the demon slayers that we see on YouTube, such as Isaiah Saldivar. I believe that although he is a true man of God, and he truly has a passion for Jesus, okay, he is authentic, he is legit. What he is describing as demonization actually is a demonic attack. Okay? Okay, so like those thoughts that pop up into your mind, like tormenting thoughts. He thinks that right there is a sign of demonization. And maybe, okay, if that's one of the signs of demonization, then it's gonna come with other signs as well, like we see with the demoniac who was possessed with legion. Okay, if that is a sign, because there's other big signs, and everybody knew it. It was obvious. Okay, and so first of all, we have to understand what we mean by demonization or demon possession. Okay, now I don't know where all this ownership business is coming from. Like, cause the word possession can also mean acquirement, like acquired. So, in other words, if a thief breaks into a store, okay, so if a thief breaks into Walmart and steals a 50-inch TV, then that 50-inch TV would be in that thief's possession, even though that thief doesn't actually own that TV. Okay? If somebody gets kidnapped, then that person who has been kidnapped is in the possession of the kidnapper. Okay? Even though that the kidnapper does not own that person that they kidnapped. Okay? So possession does not always mean ownership. It can also be acquirement. Okay? So when something is acquired, it's in your power to do whatever you wish for it with it. Okay? So now what Christians mean by, what the Bible is describing by demonic possession has nothing to do with ownership. We are not saying that the demon owns the Christian. I never got that impression. I never got the impression with the phrase demonic possession of ownership. I never got that impression at all. I do not know where that impression came from. Okay? I don't know why some people was connecting them to that. I never did. Okay? So, what we mean by demonic possession is when the demon is inside your body and for the most part has control over your actions, over your body. They are controlling your body for the most part. Okay? I say for the most part because evidently the demoniac who had the legion was able to run to Jesus, possibly seeking help. But notice that he wasn't able to verbally ask for help. Okay? So, what we mean by Christians can't be demon-possessed or demonized is we cannot be completely, fully overtaken by demons to the point of acting something like legion. Like the guy who was possessed with legion. Or everywhere else in the four Gospels, like Matthew 17, verses 14 through 21. Okay? But mainly, legion, like, we're saying that a Christian cannot be overtaken by that level by demons to the point of where the demon is controlling their actions. Okay? That is what we mean. Okay? And people who are in deliverance ministry, like Isaiah Saldivar, who believes that Christians can be demonized, what they're describing as demonization is actually either a demonic attack or demonic influence. Demonic possession is always accompanied with paranormal manifestations. Okay, it is always accompanied by that. Demonic influence or demonic attack is rarely accompanied by paranormal manifestations. And possibly if it is, it's in the form of like those 3 scratches if you're in a demonized house. Or in the form of sleep paralysis or night terrors. I believe there was a difference between a nightmare and night terrors, okay? Do not have time to get into that. Okay? So demonic influence is when the enemies is when they're planting thoughts in your mind. That's not demonization. Okay, that's not demonization. Demonization, as I again, is when the demon is inside of your body and has control over your actions. Demonic influence or demonic oppression is when the demon is planting thoughts in your mind, trying to influence your actions by creating thought patterns and disguising those thoughts as your own thoughts. I will post this. Okay, so you have the fiery darts of the enemy in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 16. Then you have 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 4 and 5. Okay? That right there describes spiritual warfare in your mind. Okay? Casting down every thought. So those thoughts are demonic thoughts. Okay? Nobody is saying that Christians can't be attacked or influenced at all. When we say Christians can't be demon-possessed or demonized, what we're saying is, again, we have to define demonization. Demonization is when the demon has full, almost full control over your body. Almost. Okay? If they don't have full control over your body, or at least almost, it is not demonization. Tormenting thoughts by yourself is not demonization. Okay? Someone who is truly demonized needs an exorcism before they can have a choice, before they can make that choice to become a Christian. Okay? Again, I'm going to repeat what I just said. Someone who is truly demonized needs an exorcism, needs that demon cast out of them, before they can even make that choice to become a Christian. Okay, so again, what we see with the demoniac is the guy who was possessed with legion, is he was able to run to Jesus, presumably seeking help. Okay? But he wasn't able to verbally ask Jesus for help. So you notice that. And I also used to watch paranormal documentaries, like a haunting. Okay? And I've seen one episode, I'd say about 15 years ago, give or take. Because the guy, where the guy's talking about his experience, so the guy was like in his 50s at that point, and his story took place around 1974, I believe, like in the early 70s. So the guy was in his 50s, mid to late 50s at that point, and long story short, he got a little curious about the occult and started to experiment with witchcraft. Became under severe torment, demonic torment. To the point where, like, there was paranormal manifestations. There was growling, like, he was hearing growling at the edge of his bed. Like something visible was growling at him. Like, growling. Okay? And whatever was growling at him wasn't visible. And obviously he regretted, doing that. Like, shouldn't be messing with that stuff. He brought back he returned the... Okay, so... He rented a spell book from a book about witchcraft from the local library, and when he regretted his actions, he returned that book to the library, okay? Because he was experiencing he was experiencing constant emotional and mental torment. He was experiencing demonic manifestations. So I don't think he's experiencing any opposition at all, but he was experiencing torment, and he was experiencing paranormal manifestations, paranormal torment, like because he opened the door that he regrets, and now there's constant demonic activity following him around. He can't sleep or anything like that. It's affecting his mental health. He's becoming like depressed and stuff. He's going to again, to the point where he almost can't function. His younger sister, who was about 13 at the time, saw the demonic manifestation of a demon at one point. So the guy ends up going to. So the guy tries to go to the churches in his area. None of them knew how to help him. The librarian, where he rented that book from to begin with, recommended somebody who happened to be a barber. Okay? So when that guy came to that barber shop, it's the woman barber could tell that there was something wrong with him. Like this guy's obviously he seemed to be depressed. It's obvious that this man is not okay. So she has to pray with him and try to lead him to Jesus with a prayer. The guy manifests mid-prayer. I don't even think he was able to say the name of Jesus completely, say the name of Jesus without manifesting. So, okay, the guy manifested. The demon, and this woman instantly reacted and cast out that demon and helped him close the portal that he opened. Okay? So, again, when someone is truly demonized, the demon will not let them get saved. If they attempt it, they will manifest, but just while attempting to be saved, while attempting to become a Christian. Okay? Again, demonization is not thoughts that pop into your mind, like those dark thoughts, those blasphemous thoughts, those, tormenting thoughts. That's not demonization, that's a demonic attack. Demonization is when the demon has pretty much, for the most part, take over your body, and for the most part has control over your actions. Although you do seem to maintain some degree of free will, as we see with Legion. That is demonization. The guy who was possessed was Legion. So, that right there is what demonization actually looks like, okay? And with someone like Isaiah Saldivar, who's had 12 years of experience in deliverance ministry, when he has a belief that demonization, like those demons hide, that tells me that during 12 years of deliverance ministry, all those people who experienced deliverance by him, they experienced deliverance from attacks and oppression, never exorcism. Yeah, never. There is a difference between deliverance and exorcism, as I recently learned from, I'm going to say his name, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. As I recently learned from David D. Hernandez, there is a difference between deliverance and exorcism. Deliverance means to be set free. Exorcism is a type of deliverance, but that's not the only type of deliverance. Okay, so it actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, because deliverance means to be set free. So these people who are in deliverance ministry, they've been setting people free from attacks, from spiritual attacks, and demonic oppression. Okay, and influence and stuff. Those people were never demonized. They was never demon possessed. You cannot be demonized without, you cannot be unknowingly demonized. Okay? Because demonization is always accompanied by paranormal manifestations, by paranormal activity. It is always accompanied. Demonic influence is not. Okay? Demonic influence and demonic attacks, those are the ones that, those are the spirits that hide, who want to remain unnoticed. And those manifestations, you can see those the influence of, manifests in the actions of the individual, the thought patterns of that person, okay? Recently, one of the demon slayers, Mike Signorelli, recently showed a video where he said he cast out a demon of lust from somebody. Well, that's the spirit of influence, okay? Okay? So that spirit of lust wasn't inside that person, controlling that person, making them have lustful thoughts. That person was planning those thoughts inside that person. That spirit was planning the spirit of lust was planning those lustful thoughts inside that person. That person was delivered from a spirit of lust, but that spirit of lust wasn't inside their body. It wasn't an exorcism. Okay? Spirits of influence plant thoughts in your mind, plant those emotions in your mind. Okay? Whatever the name is, like a spirit of fear, a spirit of lust, spirit of this, spirit of that. Those are spirits of influence, okay? Those are the spirits behind the thought patterns, okay? And I believe that there's a slight difference between demonic influence and demonic oppression. There's a sense of demonic, is that in the sense of severity level. Like, demonic oppression is severe influence. It's basically when the demon is sort of playing those thoughts, like ruling over your thought patterns, sort of like a puppet master, like a taskmaster, a slave master. Okay, it's an oppression. Yes, so yeah. Throwing some trash away. By the way, long on that note of oppression, this is what I believe, and I'm going to end this video right here. This is what I believe. People who are constantly claiming that they are oppressed, well, I believe that to some degree, it's true. I believe that the oppression is on a spiritual level. It is demonic oppression. Okay? And that's it for this video. Bye.